Hello everyone, it's Richard here again. I apologise for the noise, it's fireworks in the background going pop and bang. um, so yeah, I've thought about doing this video for a long time about homelessness. It's been in my agenda for quite a while. It's been one of my major concerns for a long time. But this Suella Braverman insanity has inspired me to do one now. So yeah, homelessness, what was that all about? Because it seems like an utterly barbaric practice to be, utterly uncivilized. You've got people, according to Shelter and the Salvation Army, the people who work on the front line actually support these people on the streets. According to them, from some years ago, to be honest, people on the streets are often because they're emotionally disturbed, mentally ill, or simply bad luck, and the latter is much more prominent these days, I think, because many people can't afford to live. The rents are so high, they may have a job, but can't afford to pay the rent. And so they have to live somewhere cheap, which may well be a tent in a field or something. So it's a really sick. Our society is so sick in so many ways. And so much of it, people don't notice it. You've got used to it. It's normal, sickly normal. It's worldwide now as well, of course. So. I remember being in Vancouver and there was a homeless guy outside the hotel place I was staying, and there was a 6 inch dump of snow overnight. He wasn't there in the morning, but I don't know where he went to. And I spoke to a guy in London once who was well dressed, and I was quite puzzled by that because that's not normal. So I went to have a chat with him, and he agreed to speak to me. So I sat there having a fag whilst he spoke, and he told me that his wife had divorced him recently. I think it was just 3 weeks earlier, maybe 3 months, but recently. And she took him to the cleaners, just wiped him out. And so all he had left was 3,000, and he was so shocked, he lost his job. He couldn't keep up. He was so stressed and so disturbed. He couldn't stay at work anymore. And so he had to be let go, as they say, and he ended up on the streets. He had £3,000 in the bank, but no income, apart from benefits claims. So he had to. He didn't want to use that money to live for a few months in luxury, so he lived on the streets. That was bad luck, followed by a shock and being emotionally disturbed. It can happen to anyone. I advise you to get some advice from a solicitor, CAB, and maybe try to get the money back, because I thought that was just wrong. Anyway, the point is, we had this COVID crisis, of course, and then as a society, or the government decided, well, better house these people. They might fall ill and die. Oh dear. So they were housed temporarily. For some reason, somehow, we found the money to house them when there was a COVID crisis, when they might be physically ill, but when that was over and they were just mentally ill, or just mentally disturbed, or just emotionally disturbed, or just unlucky, we didn't have the money to house them. It's just a bizarre way of thinking. I've tried a long time to try and get into the mindset of people who make these decisions at the top of the power structures, and they are so weird. Their beliefs are just different planet territory in some cases. They're bonkers, just bonkers. Of course, I am in some ways, I know I am, but it's eccentric. But they're just strange beliefs. It's like Dominic Cummings and his when he was de facto Prime Minister of the country, unelected. He was basically running the show, and he decided, well, we can't afford to, deal with this pandemic at the expense of Brexit. Brexit is much more important. according to him. Of course, he's democracy and all that. And again, this is off the track a bit, but he also thought, well, I can't have another referendum because it would be undemocratic. These people are just insane. Just insane. And they're running the show. They're in charge. These nutters are in charge. So yeah, homelessness. What we need, according to Shelter, is more homes. Surprise. You know, or some ways of providing fairly cheap accommodation for people. Because in many cases people can afford to, well, they have an income. You know, it's not as if they're begging off the state or begging because they choose to beg. Maybe some do actually go around and tramp around the streets and the hills out of choice. Maybe I think there are a few. They like the freedom, I guess. That is their choice, fair enough. But most people don't have a real choice. To have a choice, you need money in this world. This is the Tory world. No, the Tory world is money. It's driven by money. They're money mad. Money mad. Money mad. All of them. It drives them. It drives their thinking. It causes their thinking. It causes their attitude. They've got no room for compassion or love or anything like that. Tender, really. It just doesn't compute. It's just the culture of the way that what they're born into. But it's insane, and it's destroying the country, the world. This madness is just destroying the world. And the homelessness is just a classic example of that. It's a society which is sick to my mind because you've got this obvious, distressing flaw in it, which many people just ignore because it's normal. You know, that's the way life is. Can't change. We can't do anything about it. We are powerless. Well, you know, we don't have much power. We can do something. You can make videos like this. You can write to your MP. You can still protest. Not as much, but you can still protest. You can write tweets. You can write posts. You can do blog posts. You can do loads of stuff online. You can organise. So you can do something. At the very least, you could write to your MP. It's quite easy. Just email. It's quite easy these days. Too easy, really, for the MPs, I think. But yeah, I think as a society we need to decide what to do about people like this, because it's not their fault. In the vast majority, they have no choice. It's not a lifestyle choice. Having a tent, some shelter, isn't really much of a choice. Yeah. Better than sleeping or lying awake in a shelter somewhere, freezing cold and wet and damp, and people abusing you and pissing you, and throwing beer on you or shouting at you, or telling you to get a job or something. It's better than that. And it's a worldwide thing. I know it's not just here. It's just I can't. There's something really, really wrong with our society. Seriously wrong. Fundamentally wrong, because you get all this sickness, this disease appearing all over the world, and it should not be there. It should not be happening. Not for a compassionate race of human beings. It shouldn't. So with that bang which you may have heard, I'll end the video. Thank you once again for your time, and please share and like or dislike, whatever. Give me feedback, please. Comment, do something, and I'll speak to a camera again. I hope you'll notice. Bye.